And the American election is a very good example of that. See, all the data scientists in the world could not predict what is happening, because I think there is a lot of variant opinions that people have. People will not be able to capture in a statistical mean, right? And let's say, if you heard about the American elections, and there's one extremely capable data scientist, Nate Silver, who actually talked. When he was asked this question, that how did he not understand this? And he was saying that, look, I kept on telling you that it's only 73% chance of winning. So I think that there's a reminder. Why didn't you listen to that part? So the point that a statistical system of that type will eventually not be able to kind of give you the guarantees, especially when you're driving a car and it's a driverless car. How would you actually depend on that machine's capability? Because even 1% could mean killing 6 people on the pavement, or saving the driver, or vice versa. And that's where we go. So the ability to automate tasks is not so easy, and there has to be a newer type of artificial intelligence that might be required, which may not be purely statistical. And what I'm saying is actually very, very different than what everybody is saying, but it's an important aspect of that. So we've defined now what possibly general human intelligence means. We know that what are the criteria and requirements for AI to actually, if the AI wants to compete with humans, this is what that AI would have to do. And just to give you an example of a domain of expertise and description views, and this is an example, right? Because if you see movies, and if you are, let's say, a detective fiction fan, then you would realize that it is interesting that whenever you talk about a detective would have a wall of analysis. I mean, it's something that typifies what a human intelligence would mean, right? And in this case, you might notice this is from Homeland, and where she is actually everything that whatever she has done, she's put all of these pieces of information on a wall, and this is typical theme in all movies in Western kind of world, where you would analyze information by putting all that information on the wall, connect those pieces together, and then take a decision. And this is what human intelligence is. And now the other point is domain of expertise, right? This is like a combination, because domain of expertise is that she's a detective and she's actually a field agent, and she has to have that ability to understand. And if you've seen and if you understand spy movies and detective movies, one of the things is that it seems that one of the trainings that you would need to become a detective is to understand all the exits for this particular building. So the first thing that a detective would understand, the spatial geometrical understanding, the space analysis of the space. How many exits? If I want to run, which will be the closest exit? If something happens, how do I go out of this? And that is what a domain of expertise would mean. And a domain of description is this wall, this ability to understand how humans analyze information, right? This ability to cross-connect pieces of information. Now, let's kind of define that a little bit further, right? Just let's say, what is the domain of description and what is the domain of expertise? So again, the example that I gave you of a detective, ability to use multiple senses, a situational alertness to actually take a decision and take action, understand certain physical training. I'm talking about the detective, that experience that she would have of training, physical training, ability to quickly apply all of these in a particular context. And what I'm saying as an experience is nothing but doing this again and again, either failing it or doing it successfully. Whichever way, humans can do that and learn that. Again, it is an individual, not connected in a universe. Right? You are not connected with other machines. You're just learning it again and again and understanding that. So usually, this is what will this is what will mean that you become an expert in something. Domain of description is another interesting point. Ability to record all the events, then monitor them, collate, gather all the information very quickly, from multiple sources, then connect them, that wall we saw, connect those pieces and arrive at an insight. That's what the domain of description would mean. And again, these terms are something that I have used for myself, but they fairly kind of typify what should we understand as domain of description and domain. And now, to understand so there will be tasks now. We are coming to the core point about jobs that AI would take over and jobs that AI cannot take over, logically, right? So examples of jobs which actually have a very high percentage of domain of expertise, well, like an oil rig worker who actually works on an oil rig, or a car repair person. And how much, I mean, of course, eventually robots will repair cars, but still, the kind of problems that you want to detect, it will be very difficult to kind of, unless until the car is connected, all of that could change. That a driver also actually, today, in a sense, that needs a lot of that. And my thinking is that it will be very difficult to replace these tasks. Whatever news that you are hearing, it is going to be very difficult to actually replace some of these tasks, because there's a sense of kind of alertness that you need in order to do this kind of stuff. There are tasks which sit in the middle of domain of the expertise and domain of like, for instance, lawyers. Because one of the interesting things about lawyers is that they will need to understand everything. I mean, a lawyer today would get a case on a patent kind of a dispute, or tomorrow it would be something that is purely a marital dispute. And how do you actually understand many different domains of knowledge and then fuse them together? And that looks like that domain of expertise kind of saves that, because it becomes a naming convention, a description of those events, and that allows you to actually kind of give opinion on things which are extremely disparate and diverse. So this is basically what it would mean. Now, what you then, for an AI, this is what an AI system would need to solve this problem. Learning from given examples and produce output automatically, handle variance and deal with unknowns. And unknowns are different types: known knowns, then known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. Things that you cannot even detect in that sense. We have not even understood. Then the self-awareness of completeness and quality. That's another point, right? So the system will need to be self-aware of completeness and quality, because without that, I don't think that in a guaranteed manner. Now, so using a search engine where you know what you're searching for, and then you can reorganize your searches, and then you get results. That's a different story. And then basically to be doing it will be different. So the systems that do would need this kind of capability, and that is what a percentage of automation would mean. And finally, it would mean the kind of jobs now where possibly could give you eventually, if this system becomes better and better, jobs which actually will be difficult to replace will be these, and then the skill sets that are required in future will be data science, ability to fuse different domains together, let's say chemistry and computer science, people with the multidisciplinary backgrounds and all of that, and ability to work in tandem with machines in a kind of roundtable fashion seems to be the kind of future of where humans and machines could work in a synthesis. Thank you. Sorry, I'm running out of time.